Hello, we are live. I have got a really exciting show here for you today. Yes, it's exciting, it's entertaining, it's informative, and I'd really love it if you could actually share this, invite other people to come along, get involved with the comments live right now, as well as you can also watch this later and come in with comments and feedback, and I'll always get back to you. So, personal development. Seriously, what on earth has it got to do with entrepreneurs? Why is it important for business? And today we're bringing you some unusual advice that you haven't heard from anyone else. This is not your typical interviews, information, anything like that. This is going to be really important, entertaining, and fun for you. Welcome to Prosper with Sonia Clark, where I am bringing you the panel that is 5 experts in their fields, expert entrepreneurs, where I bring them along, put them a little bit under pressure for you so that they can give you that extra unusual advice that you perhaps have not and should not have heard anywhere else prior. I'm going to be putting them under pressure, and then after that I'll be digging a little bit differently and have a lightning round called the cultural twist. So you have to stay tuned for that so that you can see what on earth that is about. They don't even know what my questions are for them. So it's going to be fun as far as knowing about where they're from, with their culture, see if you know the answers to some of these questions as well. Oh, and I've actually asked them to bring along an offer for you. So you're going to get bonuses, you're going to get giveaways. Grab a quick cup of coffee. We are right now going to throw to the introduction of this show and get things underway. This is, believe it or not, my first time live streaming. I usually do pre-recordings because I get a bit pedantic, I get a bit fussy, and I like to get things exactly perfect. So you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect today because you are in the hands of some really wonderful, awesome people. So let's get this show underway. Yes, you are watching Prosper with Sonia Clark. I hope that gave you a little bit of time to quickly get yourself ready, and that you're going to be joining in with some really great fun advice, bonus giveaways, and finding out about some really unusual advice with personal development and why on earth it's important. Right now, I'm going to throw you to our show intro. Did you like that? Yes, it's not only Prosper with Sonia Clark, it is the panel. Joining us today are 5 experts that are I'm going to place them under a little bit of pressure, dig deep for some extra information for you, as well as a cultural twist, fun time, and see if you know these answers too. So please stay with us, as well as some bonus extras. So here we go. I'm going to introduce some people. Our first guest panel, number 1 is Nurika Castaneda. I'm going to pop my glasses on. So Nurika Castaneda is the founder of Armour Umbrella, a single mum, a veteran entrepreneur, a world traveler, an author, a logistics. I couldn't even get my mouth still around what that is, but it's all about logistics, and she's a TV and podcast host. So she says, I guess you can call me multi-potentialite. potential aligned. I'm going to have to ask her about that. Okay, please welcome Nurika. Hi. You're muted,
Hi.
Nurika. Hi.
Thank you for
Did I
having
get
me.
that right? Did I get that right? What do you call yourself? A multi-potentialite?
Multi-potentialite.
Oh, well, there you go. I told you I might not be able to have my mouth around all these words today. I really like the, that descriptive word. I've been adding some extra words to my vocabs today, and it's all really, really interesting. So thank you. I'm going to continue to welcome in some more guests. Mm-hmm. So stay tuned with me. Joining me next is our guest panel expert is Daniel Faust, Director of IT at Legrity Media, and wants to be remembered by two words, digital and transformation. What words do you want to be remembered by? So everything he does is imbued by these two words. Daniel Faust wants to empower you to transform your life via mind, body, and soul and digital presence. Welcome, the Director of IT of Legrity Media, Daniel Faust. Hi. Hello. Welcome. And I'm now also going to welcome in Peter Gillian. As the CEO, Peter Gillian is qualified fitness and lifestyle professional who is passionate about helping women 50 plus reinvent what it means to age through the love of movement, to live energized and ageless lives. She is an international best-selling author and has shared her expertise in the transformation of women in print and digital media. Welcome, Peter. Hello.
Hey.
You are Peter Gillian Green. Hi, nice that you've come to join us. Guess what, people? We have got more expert panel guests that I'm going to bring you. So next is Dr. Faz Mehmood. As a multicultural and multilingual diversity expert, Dr. Faz, as we'll call him today, understands the direct challenges and opportunities business owners, executives, and leaders experience. His company, Learn to Grow Rich and Worldwide Success Academy, provides executive coaching and training in leadership, communication, and human behavior. He is also an executive director of the John Maxwell Company, an international inspirational speaker, motivational teacher, and successful coach. Welcome, Dr. Faz. Hi. Serial entrepreneur. It's definitely serial entrepreneur. So you're just as crazy as I suppose the rest of us are, as well as me. Okay, final guest panel expert entrepreneur number 5, Rizwan Rashid. So Rizwan is the founder of Gravitas Coaching. He is an entrepreneur coach and a master storyteller who has assisted thousands of entrepreneurs to find, craft, and present their story, because your story matters. Please welcome Rizwan.
Yay!
Hey!
Last but not the least.
Exactly. So here we are. Thank you so much for joining me here today as my panel, the guest experts, entrepreneurs. We are talking about the topic today, unusual personal development advice for entrepreneurs. Now, I did a bit of a throwaway at the beginning there to let people know a couple of questions that I had around that. Why on earth is it important? Personal development. Why on earth is it important for entrepreneurs? And also, what's it got to do with business? Because actually, I do know people that still, even as entrepreneurs, and most of us do tend to know that, but there's still people I find that don't see the connection between personal development and professional development. And then we've got to go for some unusual advice. So I am now throwing it away to my panel of experts here. Who can answer one of those questions for me? Go for it, Daniel.
My unusual advice for an entrepreneur to get into order is they need to get their bedroom and living room in order before they go into their boardroom. If their marriage is struggling, if their family life is struggling, they need to get that fixed in order. Entrepreneurialism carries everywhere, and you usually don't have an office for a long time. So it's like you use your garage, your bedroom, your closet. I've used my closet before. So you're literally transforming your whole entire life, because when you're in the corporate world, you drive to your boardroom and you can put on that paper mache mask on and fake it until you make it. Doesn't matter where in the world that you're at. And you can work, if you work in a big corporate sector, you're just one of many and you could be forgotten. But when you're an entrepreneur, your whole family gets affected and everything else. So if your marriage is not thriving, your family is not thriving, and if you're single and you're not working through your stuff, you're going to show that to the people you're collaborating and connecting with. So yeah, get yourself from under the sheets back into the boardroom and fix it from them on forward. So that's my crazy entrepreneurial advice.
Sounds really, really good. So does anyone want to comment on that or ask some more questions around that? Yeah, go for it, Dr. Faz.
No, I totally agree with that. I thought that now it's my turn to tell what my advice is.
Yeah, definitely. So, please.
Obviously, I usually tell in all my conferences and conventions, wherever we go, and even on virtual, that please stop saying yourself a mediocre. That's the biggest sin you can have in your life, to say yourself an average and middle class person. You don't have to be proud of that. When we say middle class, it means from 1 to 100, we are at 50. So we are worst of the best and best of the worst. Do you think we should be proud of it? So stop getting out of that mindset, because entrepreneurship or success comes from the first thing. You have to win the battle in your locker room, in your mind. So change your mind so you can be successful and you can be a great entrepreneur. But first, the mindset is the key, which is going to drive you through this whole journey of your success. So please stop saying yourself that you are a mediocre or a middle class or an average, because the whole highway is filled till that. If you take in one extra step, the highway is open. There is no competition. You are the competition for the rest of the world. So take an extra step and get out of that pile and be the successful person and be the above average, be the success team member. That's all I can advise people.
I like that it's got mindset in there, and there's also a little bit of a common thread in there as far as your life, and the way that you see your personal life. I'm getting a little bit of feedback from someone's microphone, so you might want to sort of move your microphone a little around someone. That's better. I'm not too sure what was happening there. So there's a little bit of a common thread in there as far as with the way that you see yourself, the way you see your life, the bedroom to the boardroom to the bedroom, those sorts of things as the connection. And so I want to ask now the panel around that, how is personal development, let's dig into both those two concepts that's just been presented from Daniel and Dr. Faust. How can that be unpacked a little bit more, I suppose, is what I'm asking, to help the viewers out there and the listeners out there?
Let me take one step forward from what Dr. Faust said about the mindset. I recently conducted a class, and it was all about, and you're going to hear me out, an unusual advice, or probably a different way, is brainwashing 101. We all have heard, I wanted to learn a new technique. I wanted to learn new skill. I wanted to read a book. I wanted to attend a webinar. I wanted to be part of a seminar, and wanted to acquire the new and famous and fancy skills. But yet my mindset, or my mind, is packed with all the old files, which can be replaced, which is still there. And I go back and pick up the same habits, same action steps, and still find the same results. And I'm telling them, hey, it didn't work. What if as an entrepreneur, take this, start brainwashing? Yeah, I'm not going to do that in like a whole different aspect of it, but I wanted you to take this as a filing cabinet that you can't take away the old files. It still will be there, and you wanted to develop yourself. put those files in the front drawer and use those files often, because you committed. So when you were conducting a session, when you attended a webinar, when you hired a coach, a mentor, then use those actions again and again until that become your habits, and that new habits going to produce the new results. So personal development in an unusual way, start brainwashing yourself. And if you have a team, start doing that on themselves. And the simplest way is to use that, the filing cabinet analogy. Put those files right in front of them. The message, the book, the seminar, whatever you learn, you got to use them. According to the scientific survey, it says 21 days to change a habit. Let's put that 21 days on the clock and see what changed the results.
I like that. I really, it is. It's, it is a form of brainwashing, isn't it? When we're saying we're talking ourselves into it, or we're going to get into the mind frame rather than mindset and those sorts of things, and living that way. But then when we also look at it with abundance mindset or attracting, well, it's not the when it will happen, it's happening now. You got to see it and feel it. So is it really brainwashing? Well, okay, let's just ask a couple of others. Nurka, when we said let's unpack a little bit of those two concepts that were presented, I saw your hand go up. What were you wanting to say?
I say that, we as entrepreneur, that's kind of the essence of the world, right? It's somebody that goes and find answers. And the only way to do that is by continually learning new things that add to the whole package. So, going out there and learning new things that's going to provide more value to what you're offering is fundamental. And it's all about mindset. I agree with that. Because it's not just learning, it's also applying what you learn. Don't just consume the information, but actually add on it in some way. There's different ways that you can add to it. You can teach others, you can write, or you can implement it or make a product, because it will also help you reinforce what you learn. If you just put it away and just become another memory, something else that you learn, you can have a conversation about maybe every 10 years.
Yeah, I love you. I love it. And Nurka's having a little bit of a giggle because I said to the panel prior, my wonderful experts here, that every now and then I might click on something to try to highlight them, and I might sort of do it incorrectly, like I just did. That's okay. So I am in the hands of wonderful experts here that know me and are going to be fine with it all. But we're just having some good conversations here around the unusual personal development advice for entrepreneurs, and how is it really going to be of benefit for entrepreneurs, and how is it going to be a benefit for business? Yes, Peter, go for it.
I just want to say something that just sprung to mind was looking at life through your child's eyes. I often, watch my grandkids doing things, and they'll often come up and go, "Oh, I can't do that." And I go, "Oh, yes, you can. Let's break it down." And so when we look at the big thing of what they're doing, it's like, well, okay, come on, let's take one step here. Do that first step. And once they get that first step, they then take the next step and the next step. And before you know it, they're climbing over everything. So I was thinking about climbing trees there as a scenario that I recently saw my kids do. And they just went, "No, Nan, we can't do this stuff." And I've gone, "Yeah, you can." And we often just take that first approach and go, "I can't do it." And it is where that mind is so powerful that it stops us from doing something. We're not prepared to get out of our comfort zones. And that's where it's really important. So if you can live with those butterflies, if it's feeling like that little bit uncomfortable, that's when that you're taking that next step.
I like that. It's so true. Now, some of the viewers here are going to be thinking, well, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I know that. I'm doing those things regularly, or yes, I understand those challenges, and entrepreneurs are typically go up and down with the roller coaster of conversations in their minds, as well as what happens and opportunities. So what further unusual advice can some of our other guest panel experts bring? So we've had Daniel and Dr. Faz give us some unusual advice. What other unusual advice can any one of you give those entrepreneurs in following what we've been talking about so far?
I would add something. I think it's very easy to try to fit in, but you should do the opposite. You should find that thing that make you unique, make you memorable, and use it, because people will forget about you unless you're memorable. So whatever you are doing, you need to find that distinctive that make you completely different from everybody else, even in the same field, because they will remember you.
I like that.
Sonia, what if I say the unusual advice is to have some cash? And cash not start with the C, but with a K.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
The David Heringer, one of the psychologists, actually created this performer where talk about that most people are looking for knowledge and skills. Hey, I gotta know this and I gotta know how to do this. So the entrepreneurs get fixated on acquiring the knowledge and acquiring the people with the skills in order to execute. However, they never invested in their time, money, and effort in creating an attitude platform, including transforming those attitude towards the habit. So the cash stand for K stand for knowledge, A for attitude, S for skills, and H for habits. So these four combination actually works so lethal that if you as an entrepreneur, if you are a professional, if you do not apply the knowledge you have and the skills you acquire with the consistent in a habitual form with a high level of positive attitude, you always see the execution gap. So the execution gap has to be what we were talking about, she mentioned about execution. So everybody knows everything. I mean, I can almost bet my life everybody knows that waking up early is going to be feeling good. Everybody knows having drinking more water, keeping the kidneys clean. Everybody, I mean, there's a whole list of things. But what we not do is create a habit out of it, or what we don't have the attitude of it because I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling bummed, I want to stay home. So what about if we bring in cash into our mindset and to our daily life all day, every day, then so replacing the cash with another cash, so you don't need to go out and get to the bank deposit, but bring in the cash, put it in there, and you will find the execution coming together pretty quickly.
I like that. So I've just popped up the acronym there for people. So knowledge, attitude, skills, habits. Hey, I think that's really, really important. Do you know that we've actually, sorry, go for it. Were you about to say something, Peter?
Yeah, I was going to say that in regards to habits. If you think about habits, there's something that we do on an autopilot. And I often like to think about them as being more routines or daily practices, because we never really become perfect at anything that we're doing. We're just practicing that thing that we're trying to create in our lives. So I like to take that different approach. It's just like, go ahead and practice something each day.
Yeah, I like that. There is that, again, we've hit at that another a common thread. So it's about habits and how we perceive it, how then we apply it, how do we break it down, how we're telling ourselves, how are we practicing it. I love all of that. Another unusual piece of advice, perhaps, Peter, an unusual piece of advice for personal development for entrepreneurs?
An unusual piece of advice is just And it's not really unusual. It's take the time for you first thing in the morning, and whatever that happens to be. And it's not unusual. We've heard it. We know it. But it's a matter of actually doing it. So what is it that you can do? Whether it be drinking a glass of water as you drink your water there, Sonia, or whether it's to do some childlike stretching. And that's one of the things that I actually do like doing is not get out of bed. It's actually, remember when your parents would wake you up when you were a kid and you just go, oh, you do this little stretchy thing. And what would happen there is you get all the fluid and everything moving in your body. And what it would do is it just wake your body up a little bit more. And so it meant when you got out of bed, you were jumping out of bed with a bit of a pep in your step. Whereas, now, the alarm goes off, you hit it, and it's like you drag yourself out of bed and you don't give yourself that time to change that energy flow in your body. So it's not an unusual thing to do, but it's something that's worthwhile doing.
Sonia,
I like that.
Sonia,
Yes.
if I may add the one thing, what
Yeah.
Peter reminded me, one of the client I was working with, and this client was actually telling me that the procrastination jumps in right off the hop, right in early in the morning. So he always had that goal list. He knows what needed to be done. He had written down and is like pump up to go. But early morning, he doesn't feel like that drive that just kicks in, that energy that, and we actually went through several sessions in order to find, because every time we go back and find, okay, I didn't do it, I couldn't do it, I had this excuse and that excuse. And what we really figured out, that what Peter just said, when you woke up, that's the first thing. What is one thing that just take you away? And what we really found out, that he has a favorite song, and we were able to program that favorite song as an alarm clock. And as soon as the kink in and he wakes up and his eyes open and ears can hear, he was listening to this pumped up favorite song, and he jumps right out of the bed and boom, he goes, and the rest is history. So an unusual one, what you just mentioned, it just came to my mind. I said, this is exactly what we did, is that connecting to whatever triggers you, because you trigger on your own. No matter, you're not going to trigger on Les Brown's, you're not going to trigger on Sonia Clark, you're not going to trigger on Dr. Faz. Initial intrinsic motivation, you're going to trigger on yourself. Find out who you are, connect with that, and you will find a new way, unusual find.
I love that. I experienced that first thing this morning. It's beautiful. Go for it, Nirika.
I wanted to add to that is it's very important to find your prime time. That's the best time, and what you are really good at, make sure you do it, because you will do it super quick. And those might be 2 hours, but they're going to be the most productive hour of your whole day.
Yeah.
Especially you doing something that you like or something that you're enjoying. If it's something that you hate or you dislike, it's going to take you forever and you're not going to progress a lot. So use that time wisely, and get stuff done that way.
Love that. Yes, Dr. Faz.
Yeah, I like it. It's an awesome thing which we just discussed. I tell my clients and people I mentor them, and they ask me, sir, how we can start our typical day. I said, first thing first, go and buy an alarm clock which doesn't have a snooze button, period.
Yeah.
Oh, my husband would love you, Dr. Faz.
Yeah, because if you start your day by snoozing 9 minutes, it means you are not in a positive way. You are starting your day. You are procrastinating.
Don't. You might hear. No, go on.
So my point is, just buy an alarm clock with no snooze button, and just once you set up the time, that's your commitment. Just get up. Just get up. And don't even try to get an extra 7 or 9 minutes out of that. But that's the way, like you have post a favorite song or whatever you do, but just get up. That starts from there.
I love all that. So you're all helping me out here and for my mornings. And what I've been saying for a while, I said that I'd start to practice it. I did it once this week, once this year, but I'm going to put all of these things into action. I've put it out there now live. I'm going to have to follow through on it. Nurika, you were about to say something, and then Daniel and the Peter. Go for it.
And I would say use those hours that you sleep to think about the problem. So if you actually wonder about some stuff that you're thinking about it, that you had to do before you go to bed, before you fall asleep, your brain will keep thinking about it. And that usually will generate the best ideas early in the morning as soon as you wake up. So take the time to write them down.
I like that. Go for it. Then Daniel, yes.
Something that I started in 2022 because it's New Year's resolution time. People are starting to fade off. The gym equipment's not selling. Do you know Peloton is cutting down on their sales because it's slowing down? Anyway, I did a podcast on this and I said, screw the resolutions. Why go over and disappoint yourself writing? And I wrote 50 2021. And I'm like, I'm going to get all these things done. I got done one. That's it. And the thing is that I went over and said, I figure out what's valuable to me. And when you focus on values, then the values then become goals. And then you want to achieve those goals because they're in line with your values. And then you know what to say yes to and you know what to say no to. Because the other entrepreneur trap we get into is once somebody finds out you're an entrepreneur or anything that's, oh, you'd be great doing this and that. Could you sell my thing, multi-level marketing this? And they start soliciting you and everything else. When you know your values, which then interprets your goals, then you can also when to say yes and when to say no. So screw the resolutions and go find out your values.
Values are important. Absolutely. And then there's shadow values that are the drivers. Peter, you were going to say something earlier too.
I was. The challenge that I had last week in my free group was a goal sticker challenge. And it didn't have to be stickers. It's like, well, what is it that you want to do this week? What is it? And you give yourself a goal sticker. And it's something I've been doing. I've just been colouring in. So here's my January thus far. And so what I did was I wrote down, look, this is what I'm going to do. It was really, really specific. What days of the week am I going to do it? When's it going to happen? But why is it important to me? What do I want to achieve out of this? And so one of the things that I came to terms with just recently, I did a lot of soul searching during December, and I went, I'm really not feeling as strong and as fit as I was when I was in my 40s now that I'm in my 60s. Now, that's going to translate to being a lot less fitter when I get to 80 and 100. So I need to do something about it. So what's the difference here? And so once I discovered what that difference was, I went, that's what I want to do. I'm going to put that down. And so it's like that goal sticker approach. Give yourself a little reward. It comes back to that cycle of habits, doesn't it? Where you've got the trigger, the habit, and the reward itself. And rewards don't have to be anything that's huge. It can just be a goal sticker.
Yeah. Yeah, we're always playing games with ourselves, aren't we? We're brainwashing, we're playing games, we're getting into habits. Bedroom to boardroom, not too sure what I should comment on there.
That's my realm if we want to talk about that.
No. We've been talking quite a bit. So before we then move into our next segment, which is my panel experts here have no idea what I'm going to be throwing at them. And it's called the cultural twist. Is there any last minute pieces of advice you would like to give the viewers here?
Yeah, I will add on to most of the time, the problem we all have that we schedule our day or our whole week in advance. And then every single morning we sit down and we start prioritize which one I had to do first. So the new resolution for myself I made for 2022, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to only schedule my priorities, period. So I don't have to prioritize. Just schedule the priorities. Why we have to put the rest of the stuff which is not even important and then I think, should I do it or not? That's all.
So my books I've gone
Sonia,
I'm too prolific with the lists building. Go for it. Yes, Rizwan.
Sonia, what if I tell you that there is a business that you can copy for all the entrepreneurs out there to make money. And
a business.
And I want to say this: the last unusual advice, or kind of a talk about it, that you must have seen a movie or drama where you actually mesmerized with a character, with maybe a dialogue, maybe the story itself, and you paid for it on a Roku TV, Netflix, or a theater to watch it.
Yes.
Right? Although you know it's a fiction, and you still bought into this. You fall in love with the character.
Yes.
And yet this is the business. Hollywood is making these stories up and creating these characters on a green screen. They created this whole new world for us. It means the story is so powerful. Like, I want to go as well. Mehmood just said, it's not a magic that just take us to another world. It's storytelling. So as an entrepreneur, an unusual thing, maybe I wanted to really, a shameless plug, I want to tell, have your story out there. And if you can tell what's your story of your passion turned into profession flawlessly, amazingly, in a one-liner or in a 40 minutes talk, you would be what we call an biggest advantage to other one. You will have the unique value proposition than anyone else out there.
I like that. Exactly. If you know it, you've got to know it inside out and back to front, so that you're living it and you're talking it, you're walking, it's natural, it comes to you. I'm just also inviting anyone who's watching there, if you want to pop any comments in here, pop it in. This is live. We can answer those questions live. And before we go into our next segment, is there any other last minute pieces of advice from my guest panel experts?
I would say make sure to have fun in whatever you do.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, don't make it boring. Don't make it mechanic where it sucks the life out of it. If you're not enjoying it, it just becomes another chore. So, making money is important. It pays the bills, but having fun is even more important because it will keep you up for the long run.
This is true. And not sleep all night long. Or go for it, Daniel.
I was going to say, for me, that's unusual, is to be you. So me and Nurka have a military background. I wore the uniform for now 21 years. And when I got out of active duty, I tried to do marriage ministry. And I went to churches because I thought I'll go to churches. You know, I was fearful of serving my community of military veterans, first responders. But I was wearing combat boots, khaki pants, and a button-down shirt. So you knew I was military. And the thing of it is that then I conformed and got the suit and the tie and learned about pleated pants. Dr. Faz probably does it awesomely. Me, I'm like, I didn't even know what pleats were. So those types of things. And some people started to listen to me, but it was like, it didn't work. So I went through 70 different jobs in a 7-year span, trying to figure out who I was, and it didn't work out. So I had to keep putting on the mask. So especially as an entrepreneur, just be yourself. It's like, you know, obviously, you know, if you don't wear clothes, that might not be good, but depends on the brand, you know, but those type of things, just be yourself in that entrepreneurial sense. So then you are projecting that confidence of who you really are, because when you're wearing the mask of somebody else, you're not projecting that confidence, and you're not going to get the message out there, and you're not going to be authentic, and you're going to be concerned about who you are. So we have a diverse, beautiful panel that can dress and be who they are. And that's why we can exude that confidence, because we can be ourselves. So don't put on the mask and be yourselves.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Lovely. My piece of advice, an unusual piece of advice, and Peter touched on it a little bit, and I think even Rizwan, get kinesthetic with it, get physical with it, so that we're talking about habits, and we're talking about procedures and our mindset around it, and getting, you know, and our perceptions and things like that. But some of us have to get physical with it, even if we're sitting on our butts in front of a screen all day and doing those sorts of things. So making a muscle memory in other ways. And if I stretch this way, what does that mean to me? Because I've used tricks like that even for when you're doing tests. and having to do some studies. Okay, what does that mean? And so it's different ways of being able to connect it through. So if anyone wants to talk to me about that further, we can have that as another conversation another time, because it requires quite a lot of unpacking in there. We're going to take a quick commercial break. So we allow the panel to get them to do a bit of movement, get physical, move around, readjust themselves, have a drink of water, and get ready for some surprise pressure testing. We're putting them to the test. Diamonds are created from pressure. We're going to create a little bit of fun pressure, fun, and expose a little bit about their culture. And so for you, the viewer, you can get to know them and communities and collaboration, because this is the year of collaboration. So right now, here we go. I'm throwing to a couple of commercial breaks. One more. Okay, so am I ready to put my expert panel of entrepreneurs to the test? Are you ready? If there's anyone out there who wants to place some extra questions on top of what I ask, you are very welcome. First up, we are going in alphabetical order for surnames, and it's just going to be lightning round, nice and quick. Now, first off, this is about Nurika's background, and so Nurika, you can't answer this question, so until the end, and then we're going to see if you actually know the answer. So panels, experts, what is the national pastime or social activity for Cubans? Anyone know? We've got 30 seconds, countdown, go.
Siesta.
No.
Cuban cigars.
Dancing.
No. No. And I would have picked all of them.
Soccer.
Anything else?
No, it's a baseball. Baseball is it.
No, believe it or not. And there were some really unusual things that they do have in there, but it was a very unusual first off the top. Daniel, do you want to throw anything in there?
I said siesta, so I was already wrong
siesta.
at that.
Okay. Nurika, do you know what the national pastime, the social activity, number one social activity that Cubans do?
The number one social.
Number one.
There's a lot.
I know. She doesn't know.
Well, they play baseball and they play domino. Those are two big favorites.
Oh, now one of those answers is correct. What do you think?
Baseball is the number one sport in Cuba.
Okay, so it's not. So this is about a social activity pastime, and it's actually dominoes.
Dominoes, yes.
Oh, I know. They even have tournaments around it. Dominoes.
We have our
Isn't-
own domino game. Yes.
There are pictures of men, and and outside they all get together and they play dominoes, and they get so serious. They have fun about it. So it's a social pastime thing. But then they get serious about it, and then they have tournaments. Well, there you go. Well done, Nurika. You were so close. Daniel, now it's your turn. So, Daniel, you can't answer this just yet. And I'm going to share my screen and see if the panel know what on earth this is, let alone what my question is. So, are we ready here? Share screen, share screen, share screen. This one right here. Oh, it's not. It's a bit small, isn't it? His name, this monster, is called Miles the Monster. How many cats does Miles the Monster weigh? Panel.
I don't know.
We
Miles
gotta
the
make a
Monster.
wild guess, eh?
Go on, go for it. Yes.
1,309,000.
So do you reckon that they herded all those cats to test this theory out of yours? 1 million cats. There's a book out there about herding cats, but I don't know about that. He's in Delaware, where Daniel actually lives. Anyone else got it out? And so that's no. Quick, next. Anyone else? Throw a number out there.
I don't know. Like 20,
No.
50.
No. More. Higher.
More. 1,000.
Higher.
1 million.
Much lower. Okay, Daniel, do you know?
I've never seen this in my life because it's just farmland where I'm at in the military base. I'm going to guess 150,000 cats worth of weight.
Ooh, no. Okay, and this is the thing, Daniel, you're always saying that it's just nothing but farmland out in Delaware, and yet they do have this massive tournament that goes on with the racing that they do. I've forgotten the racing, and I did have it here somewhere.
Is it NASCAR?
Yes, that's right. And so, Daniel, you need to get out.
I know where that's at, actually, now that I see
Get
it.
alive.
That's about 5. If that's behind the NASCAR Speedway, I could drive out there after this interview.
Exactly. You need to get out, have a life, go have a look at this that actually is in your area.
So you say I have no
that
life.
his sorry. Because I'm usually the one saying that, being in the
Yeah,
lockdown
homework.
here all the time.
Yeah,
And
the
his
5
eyes
kilometers.
light up. So obviously here's a type of paper mache. Apparently 4,000 cats.
I
Now,
gotta find
how
this
they-
now.
How they came to that, I have no idea. Why cats? Are we asking the right questions here? Okay, so Peter, it's your turn. Uh-oh, she says. Peter, how well do you think you know Queensland? Peter is here in Queensland in Australia. So right now I'm throwing this out to the panel. Peter, you're not allowed to answer this because this should be dead easy for you. Panel experts, what time does the sun come up approximately in Queensland?
11.
What time does the sun come up? No, not 11.
4 o'clock in the morning.
3 a.m.
Dr. Faz?
I think that 4:30.
Okay, Peter?
5.
Yeah,
Do you know?
if it's summer, it's going to be somewhere around 4:30. If it's winter, it's probably going to be, more like the 6 a.m., 6:30 mark.
Okay, well, there you go. There's some more specifics. Technically, it's more around 4 a.m. Daniel is right. Way! Round of applause. Okay, so.
Hey, one down.
Couldn't guess my city, which is probably 5 miles out. I'm
And
going
yet
to
he
take a
knows
photo and put it on
Queensland, Australia.
Facebook afterwards.
Yeah. Dr. Faz, who you live in Pennsylvania, USA. So you can't answer this just yet, and it'll be interesting to see if you know this one, because I'm sorry, this was a bit of an unusual clanger that I found. I'm like, I have to ask this. So panel, what is the name of the ghost who haunts the historic State Theatre in downtown Easton? I have to put my glasses on, I can't read properly. The historic State Theatre in downtown Easton. Do you know what the name of the ghost is? Go.
I read this story when I was a kid. What was it? It's like from a stain, isn't it? And then the thing comes alive and it's a book.
I didn't read
remember
that
correctly.
much.
That's what I think what it was. Like, yeah, Rhode Island. That's where I'm originally from. And I had like this weird book about this place, and then the ghost came out of the stain. What was it?
Casper? No.
The ghost.
Casper's boring.
No.
It can't be Casper.
Anyone else got some names?
I'm gonna say George just because.
Just
I'm
cause.
going to say Fred.
Rizwan?
No,
Dr. Faz?
I
Sorry, come on, Rizwan.
I'm not sure either, but I believe it could be in Eastern Pennsylvania. Maybe it's a Hershey or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. The Hershey guy is haunting place.
I've been eating that ice cream this week. OMG, Peter is right. Hey, round of applause. Fred. The ghost has a name, Fred. They all believe that it's Fred, the manager, who was the manager of the theatre from 1936 to 1965, and he lived there. And they believe that it's him. People have said that they've seen him, and it's Fred. So there you are, Dr. Faz. You need to go and check out the Historic State Theatre in downtown Easton. Okay? And come back and give us that feedback. See if you've seen it.
I'm amazed, Sonia, how deep you went in to find these unusual things.
I try to make fun. I try to have fun. And I did tell you I get a bit pedantic sometimes. And then I get so carried away because I have too much fun. But okay, Rizwan, it's your turn now. Rizwan is in Canada. So this is really a test. So you're not allowed to answer this just yet, Rizwan. Everyone else, have a go. How many years later after becoming a country did Canada get their flag?
No idea.
I should have music.
I'm gonna say 10 years.
No.
5 years?
5.
No. It's gobsmacking.
50.
Higher.
100?
Do you know what it is, Rizwan?
75.
I think it's over 100 years because once that Upper Canada and Lower Canada made a resolution to become one Canada, it was like way over after the war. So I don't know exact year, but it was way over 100 years.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining that a little bit. Technically, it's 100.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
And I was like, what? And I'm so glad you unpacked that because I really had to ask that. So thank you for telling me.
There was a French colony and then the English colony. So one is called Upper Canada and then the Lower Canada. Upper Canada include the Quebec and all that French. And then the Lower Canada was Ontario and all the way up to the BC. And then when they merged, similar year or year after, the America invaded Canada because during the World War II, and that happened and that took that away, all those other things in order to really transform. And so it took almost 100 years to really form the country afterward.
Wow. Yeah. And you can tell like I wouldn't have been any of those politicians because if things don't happen within months, I'm gone. Like, not quite. It's not fast enough. That's just fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Okay. So right now we are going to go into our next segment where you, the viewer, you're going to gain some bonuses and some extra giveaways, things like that. So right now we are going to throw it to Nurika what her offer is. Would you like to explain to the viewers what you would like to provide them?
And so,
Sorry, I've done it again, Nerica. There you go.
so what I have put together is 50 ways for you to find money, because money is one of the things that we say we never had enough as entrepreneur. So just some ways for you to brainstorm and think of ways that you can make money.
Lovely.
Different.
So there's Nerica's offer. It's the URL is just there. So it's the news.armorumbrella.com/free gift. Thank you very much, Nerica. Daniel, your offer now, what would you like to explain that to people?
So as you're going over and watching this live on social media can kind of get a little inundated. You go over and you get lost or shadow banned and everything else, but you want to get your message out to a global community. You want to bring your positive message to a global community. So at legritymedia.com/pricing, you can go start your show. So for less than a car payment, unless you got an SUV, you can go over and start your own digital TV show in 213 countries and go over and get your audience to a global community. We service about 4.1 billion users. So if you have an internet connection, phone, tablet, desktop, you crank it with a wheel, whatever way you do it, you can get access to go over that. So we want to go over and to gift you with that. This is a flash sale, so don't wait too long, because just like car payments, if you don't come in the right time, it might get too expensive. So might as well come in now to go start your digital TV show so you can not get suppressed, not get lost, and then have a community of people like me and Nerica and Sonia and other people that are starting their show that you are supported and you are taken care of. That's what I offer.
Beautiful, lovely. Thank you very much, Daniel. So, Peter, you have an offer for the viewers. Would you like to explain it?
I do. I have. Starting on Monday, I have a 5-day Stronger Core, Stronger Body challenge starting. And so it is all about being better in your body. And so I'm going to give you a tip. All of us are sitting here right now. So I want you to actually sit up straight. I want you to put your feet down on the ground. If you haven't got them on the ground, I know some of you cross your legs. Okay, make sure those ankles are in line with those hips. Okay, roll your shoulders down and back. Now, draw your belly button into your spine and then pretend you got a zipper there and zip it up. Okay, you've just engaged your transverse abdominis muscles, your core muscles. So I'm going to be doing workouts every single day for 5 days. It doesn't matter what level you are. I've got everybody covered. So, and that's what it's all about, is getting better in your body.
I love it. And I have actually experienced that when I interviewed Peter on the podcast, how to actually do it sitting at your desk. Thank you very much, Peter. Okay, so Dr. Faz, your offer, I'm just going to find it. Here we go. Would you like to explain that to people?
Corporations and individuals acquire my services to enhance their communication skills and to improve profitability in their businesses by joining as a coachee and a mentee to us, which we provide them professional services. And with the collaboration of my friend who's sitting here, Rizwan Rashid, who in Canadian Training Academy, and my company Learn to Grow Rich, we both combined provide all these services for the presentations and communication skills for their employees and even the leaders in the company. And also we provide one-on-one and group coachings. And I offer everybody, if you need more consultation or more help, reach out to me. The link is right there, and we will figure it out, how to be successful.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you. So drfaz.leadingthebest.com/JMTN0001. All right. Thank you so much for that one. And with Rizwan, where is your offer? What have I done with your offer?
Well,
I think it's because I actually had a problem and I forgot to check with you prior, Rizwan. So would you like to explain while I actually
sure.
create you a banner?
I wanted to offer you a 5-step formula. Imagine if you're standing in front of your, the investors or marketing company or potential customers, and you want to hook them up within your first 60 seconds. And I want you to use that formula to attract your audience emotionally and less, I would say, resistant objectively. You wanted to connect with them at a different level, so they put their critical thinking on the side and they put their imaginative thinking on your side. And this is, my friends, is a 5-step formula, is to find, craft, and present your story. And story, I call it, S stand for setting the stage. How do you set the stage in order to share your story? And T is talking with characters, not like me, you, and him do it, but talking with characters. O stand for oops, because everybody has a oops in their life, and how they O could be an opportunity that they capitalize on it. And R stand for a resolution you made in your life in order to change your life trajectory for good. And then Y stand for how you yielding in the next future and how you are making sure other people yield in the further. In an hour of a coaching, I want you to take this 5-step formula and apply in your story and become that person where everybody remember your story, because your story is worth telling.
Love that. Love that. So, Rizwan, can you just pop that URL in the private chat there? And I'll pop it up on a banner in just a second for all the viewers there. So, yeah, if you could just pop that in, that'll be really, really good. And certainly, if anyone there, you would like to reach out to me and to follow up on any of the information that's been presented today, any of those URLs, ask further questions, you can always reach out to me and go to soniaclark.com. You can certainly go there and have a look. You can also find me at, I will bring this one up, at soniaclark.tv. So that's my link tree, which has got several different links in there too. So I can often put links and then you find out lots of information in there. What I'm also going to ask you, everyone, all the viewers there, is what was your aha moment? What was your aha moment that you've had? I'd love to get your feedback. Love to be able to follow up with you and with our guest panel and to see how we can be more of service to you. And I'm just going to check, were you able to give me that URL in the private chat, Rizwan?
Coming up.
It's coming up. All right. I beat you to it. So you can always watch any of these sorts of shows at Legrity.tv, download the Legrity app. We are looking for lots of people to bring lots of new shows, lots of different types of shows, scripted, mostly non-scripted. We've actually got a demand happening out there for people who are wanting things like lifestyle, cooking, all sorts of things. What else are they wanting, Daniel?
Yeah, the top things that people are looking for is business, entertainment, cooking, and whatnot as the trends are going, fast and engaging and whatnot, but overall a positive background. It's been the streaming world that's been growing for that. You even see the new streaming networks that are going over and growing in 2022. So why not go over and jump on the boat and then also watch this episode so you can see all these great guests and go get their wisdom, because it's after this stream, that's the only place it's going to be.
Definitely. And I'm trying to also spell while I'm listening. So make sure you share this with your friends. Tell them about the Legrity app. Share this program to all your friends and apply to be on the panel as well. Here's Rizwan's offer, tvoffer.thecmp.ca/get started. Love it. Thank you so, so much, everyone, to my wonderful guest expert panel. I think you've all done an awesome job. We've had fun. Yes, we've talked, but it's also been very informative, entertaining, engaging, and lots of tips given away. So is there any last minute things that any of you might like to say?
Execute. You got a lot of the unusual tips. You got talk about mindset, talk about habits, talk about something, just having blaring of music and be yourself. I think everyone got that, and this is common knowledge. And most often we just miss the execution part of it. Just go out and do it, and you got 6 people on your side in order to get things done. Go.
Love it.
Yeah, get out of this one day and someday mindset. There is
Yes.
no thing in the calendar. So do it now.
Yep.
That's the time. If you don't do it now, odds are you're not going to do it ever.
Ooh.
Now I got to go find that monster. That's what I need to do now.
Yeah. Miles the monster. Anything else from anyone else?
Yeah, I would say don't wait until it's the perfect moment. That would never come. Just do it. Just get out there and do it with the minimum value, the less money that you can afford, and you start doing. That way you're going to prove the concept.
Nice.
Sonia, I heard this from Dr. Faz, and I wanted to add this, that yesterday was a history, tomorrow can be mystery, today is the day.
Ah, yeah, it sounds like Dr. Faz has got some really powerful antidotes there. Peter, you put your hand up there. Oh, and
I
she's
did.
No.
Oh, no, I'm still here because I wanted to pull it out because it was an extract and it was very similar to what Dr. Faz said. Let me see if I can read it. So this is a quote out of my book. Become aware of your past. You are not your past. You are the lessons it has taught you. Care enough about yourself to care about your future life and what it holds for you. Take the lessons from the past and the care for your future to love yourself each and every moment of the day.
Ah,
Beautiful.
past, present,
Beautiful.
future, past, future,
Yeah.
present.
I
A
have
lot of commonalities here.
another line which I usually tell exactly same, but in a different way. This past is your void check, and future is your promissory note. Present is the gift, and that's all.
Absolutely. Love it.
Okay, boom, drop the mic.
I like that.
I would like to thank you all very, very much for joining me today and making this a seriously awesome, fantastic first episode for the panel. So round of applause to you all and giving your time, precious time to everyone. And Daniel, do you want to say what that is? You've got to add in that very, very last thing.
That was my one hand clap.
That's the one hand clap. He can, yeah.
This is
All
a
right.
social distances clap. So
Wow. I've been doing that since 1990. So I've been socially distancing for
And
30
this
years.
is for the deaf people out there.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you at the
Bye-bye.
next episode.
Bye.
See you. Bye.